Oh, it's on.
I think this may be the
This
first
one.
episode where our show title.
Oh, cool.
Let me see. Nice.
Attack on Titan.
I've actually seen some Attack on Titan.
It's
so
really good.
There's not that. I don't do a whole bunch of the anime stuff, but I've seen some of that one.
I'm getting back into anime. I actually met the guy who does the voice of Edward Elric on Full Metal Alchemist. I met him at the con this weekend, and I'm sitting here like, oh my god, this is the first anime I watched all the way through.
My daughter
geeking
got
out.
like tons of different autographs and stuff there. She was really psyched.
I totally should have gotten Chuck Huber's autograph, and I didn't. I'm very upset with myself.
I don't know who that is.
I've got
Oh, I got to meet the voices of Pinky and the Brain.
You told me
That's
that on
pretty
Sunday.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome.
They
Also,
I saw the picture, and they look nothing like they look on TV.
I know, right? It's a little disappointing.
Yeah, I felt like a little ripped off. I really did not. I got to remember to
Did
pee.
you stop the recording?
Yes, it did. I got to remember to pee pre-show because holy crap, that last 15 minutes, I thought I was going to die. I almost pulled a J and left. All right, so Jay, you had an interesting encounter with the Popo this weekend.
Yeah, sure did.
Tell us about that.
I was illegally detained by an off-duty officer.
Did you tell him, am I being detained? Am I free to leave?
Not in those words, no.
That's how you're supposed to do it, man.
But he didn't
Okay.
even have a taser on him.
Oh,
So.
except really, you're only supposed to do that if you're a white guy.
Okay, so basically what happened is I was leaving work, and this officer supposedly witnessed me making an illegal lane change. And then decided that he didn't like that, so he was going to bully his way in front of me getting on the on-ramp to SBID. And in doing so, he was on the on-ramp side by side with me.
Whoa.
And trying to push me into the fucking Jersey barrier, the concrete barrier.
Wow.
I wouldn't allow it, and I didn't know it was a cop. I thought it was just some asshole.
Yeah,
And he wound up having to get behind me.
right.
So we get on the freeway, and he continues to follow me very
Okay.
closely. See him on his cell phone.
So is he in a patrol car or is he off duty?
He's in his personal vehicle.
Okay.
And he continues to follow me, and I'm doing the speed limit. I'm playing, good guy. And I decide I've had enough of this. I get off the side of the
Rev
road.
is like totally beside himself in outrage over there throwing things.
Long story short, I shake him, and he's in front of me, and I don't even see him until I get to the stoplight where I get off the freeway,
Okay.
and he's a few car lengths ahead of me. Well, I am trying to go to new apartment, girlfriend's new apartment, never been there before, gonna help her move, and wind up on the same street this guy is. He's, I guess, going home,
Okay.
and I pass him as he steps out of the vehicle, and he realizes that it's me, and he's in full uniform.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, fuck, it's a cop. So I just keep going. And I wasn't,
Sure.
I mean, I keep going. He jumps back in the truck and continues to follow me. Follows me, and by the time I'd found the apartments, I was too distracted by this guy. So I
Right.
passed the apartments going, oh, shit, there they are. I did the loop around, and I said, okay, he's still following me. He's going to do something, so I pulled into Stripes. And I go inside, I buy a bottle of water, I come outside, and he approaches me. And he asks me for my license and all this stuff, says, hey, why are you following me? Hey, why are you trying to push me off the road? I'm like, I don't, what? And long story short, he wound up letting me go, but not before asking to search my vehicle, to which I declined. And he decided
Did you
to give
say, am I being detained?
no,
At that point, no.
I asked him why he was asking me all these questions, what was going on. He goes, you're being detained for an illegal lane change. I'm like, what? What? I gave him my license so he could run it, so hopefully he would just
Right.
go about his business.
Go fuck off.
And he called it into dispatch, and then when I told him no, he couldn't search my vehicle, he called for a canine unit. And before the canine unit showed up, he gave me my license back and told me to get out of there.
Wow.
So I'm in the process of filing a formal complaint.
Good.
Jesus
I saw you
Christ.
post about that on your Facebook page, and
Yeah,
people were telling you not to. I think you should.
No, I absolutely think you should. I think that's something that should be done every single time
Yeah.
that somebody oversteps their authority.
Because I mean,
That-
even
that-
if nothing happens as a result of this, if he does it again, it
Exactly.
starts
It's on
building a
That
record.
is
case.
something that is going to be on his file regardless.
Right.
Internal Affairs will look at it.
Here's the problem: is it's not CCPD, it's CCISD-PD, which is a
What?
separate
No,
entity.
it's not that much different. It's
And-
run by the same chief of police.
Perhaps
They answer to the same people. I guarantee you.
I asked the guy at Internal Affairs with CCPD what their connection was. He goes, "It's really not much. That we don't share a dispatch. They don't even have internal affairs. So now I have to just go file bullshit." Yeah, I have a feeling. I thought they were trying to sweep it under the rug at first because like we don't have an officer by that name.
No.
And like he called me back a couple of times. He was asking me what the guy was wearing. Blah blah blah. So I found the jurisdiction or whatever the hell he's with. I'm going down there probably tomorrow to go fill out a complaint form.
Good for you.
I guarantee you, the same captains, the same people. Everybody who's involved in this are the same people. The people that CCISD hires are directly from the Corpus Christi Police Department.
Yeah, so that was the beginning of my screwed up weekend.
And then you got punched. And what did you do to your hand?
Oh, I'm sure that happened about the same time as me being punched.
Do you think you might have punched somebody?
No, I know for a fact I didn't
It's
punch
his
anyone.
palm. I think it's his palm.
Yeah,
right?
it's my palm.
Dude.
So you're punching people the wrong way. If that was
yeah.
Actually, that's kind of the right way.
well, it depends on where you're punching.
You
And
actually,
even
you
like-
actually deliver more force if you punch with the heel of your hand. There's less give, and your knuckles give too much.
I don't think you connect with the same power, but I don't know. I don't get in a lot of fights
Anyway,
like you do.
I don't fight either. From what I know about me being punched, I was blackout drunk, and the guys that were apparently watching from the hotel that were drinking with us earlier came down after the fact and said that some dude walked up and punched me, and I threw my hands in the air and asked him why the hell he was hitting me.
And no one remembers what he said to that.
Oh, they probably told me, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I was funny. I do remember that my car was bloody because my hand was bleeding all over it. And
That's pretty amazing. You
Yeah,
right. Yeah, somebody punches me, I usually don't respond by,
Oh,
what'd you do that for?
Pardon me, gentlemen, but why are you impacting my face with your fist?
I wish I had more parts to the story. Believe me, I've been trying to figure it out.
You had a really exciting weekend, Jay.
Oh, that was only the beginning of it. I lost the car later on. After I drove
find it?
I drove it drunk as shit
Oh,
until I
damn, dude.
realized that I was drunk and parked it. I parked it like 3
Dude.
blocks from where I apparently
Dude.
I was really bad off this weekend. I made lots of stupid decisions while I was drinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
I
you
got
usually
lucky.
though?
When I drink liquor, yes. That's why I don't drink liquor. Often. Yeah, it was bad juju. Way bad juju. Do not fucking drive while you're drinking.
my weekend was pretty tame.
In comparison, yeah.
Definitely.
Sick most of the weekend and whatever. What else do we have? All I've got is trolling. So
What was it that you were pissed off about?
Apparently my phone, I was trying to call a cab and I couldn't get my phone to work. So apparently I threw the phone, which pissed the girlfriend off. She took the phone back to me and then took off walking.
Huh.
Then I went and found her, and then
someone
we
was
both went to the
mad
car.
at Jay. That's weird.
We both got in the car, and then I kicked her out of the car apparently.
God damn.
And that's when I realized
You
that
were a real asshole this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm sure I deserved to get it.
Jesus.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I wound up talking to the cops and everything, and then I actually walked into an apartment. I didn't know whose. I thought I was pretty sure it was the right apartment, but I wasn't certain at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was actually like 5 o'clock in the morning. I walked into the apartment to see if the girlfriend was in there, and she was. Luckily.
That was the right one. Sorry, I got them talking about anime in the chat room.
Student Ghetto in the chat room says that he has shovels, Jay. So I'll let you guys work out the details. What you're gonna do?
I have no idea who hit me anyway. So apparently he doesn't hit very hard because it never hurt. And it looks bad right now, but
It does look bad.
the thing is, you saw me Sunday.
Yeah, it looked like nothing.
Yeah, I had a
was
swollen
really,
spot.
I was like really disappointed Sunday, but now I'm like really. Now you look good.
Well, I woke up and apparently I slept on my back, so all the blood settled in my eye, so it looks like I got knocked in the eyeball, but yeah,
All right.
whatever.
So I was really just trolling people today,
Sweet.
and it turned into an actual real conversation.
Oh.
I mean, I was just messing with people,
Is
and
this like a weird romance story?
no,
Okay.
I was just messing with some friends because I was bored, and so basically the deal was male and female. So I'm not looking at anything. I'm just thinking out loud, Susan. I started doing this, and you were like, "What the hell is he doing?"
I don't even know where my brain is right now.
Separate locker rooms for men and women in schools, in whatever. Discriminatory?
In schools?
What is the reason for having separate facilities for men and women?
Because children act like idiots and assholes.
But they only do that in bathrooms? They only do that in locker rooms?
No, but I mean, you have people who could potentially be more often, at least be less clothed or possibly naked, and
Yeah.
there's room for sexual assaults and shit like
Mockery.
that.
Do you assume that men are criminals? Is that how you?
No, but I'm saying that
I assume people are going to be
statistically-
assholes and mock people.
But statistically, if you're allowing,
But you don't think that happens
Situation.
between same-sex students?
Yep,
You
I'm
don't
sure-
think
I'm sure it does,
boys?
That's why I changed in the bathroom stall all through, like the whole entire time I was in gym. I'm not even kidding. Like it
Wow.
it sucked.
We never really had.
School
I mean,
was not good for me.
I went to an all-boys high school, so it wasn't really an issue. But I mean, I don't. I was.
Are you a proponent of mixed genders in locker rooms?
I wasn't, and I was really just trolling these people. But the more I made arguments, the more I was like, "Wow, these are really good arguments."
I think I kind of lean towards your side on this. I think it's something that we have to work towards doing.
I do too.
I don't know that we're there yet.
In
I
an
think that
ideal
people
society.
are friggin' nuts here.
Yeah.
I think in the U.S. we're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's the way we really probably should be, and we should be moving towards that. I think we should be doing the same with bathrooms. I think we
I
should be
agree, too.
doing the same with the rest.
No, I agree. In an ideal society, there should be no need for it, but we don't live in an ideal society.
Especially because I mean, just going to going to Mardi Gras or going to festivals or whatever. I think it would help the bar lines, which really are. It's a gender specific problem. Very rarely will you see bathroom situations that benefit women. I mean,
That's true.
you can stick a whole bunch of urinals, and then women will just be down the block.
Have you ever been in a bathroom that literally has a piss trough?
Yes. Yes.
More than one.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, way more than one.
I went to the first wedding that I presided over, actually, was in Arizona, and we took a wedding picture in being
front
into
of
the trough.
Excellent. Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah. We went into the bathroom and was like, oh, dude, we have to have like wedding pictures here.
I mean, you can't do that for women. You can't have a piss trough
No.
for women. I mean, you could, but that would be really weird.
That would be that would be a little awkward.
It's just a design issue.
Yeah.
I guess you could just attach seats and little, tubes or something. I don't know.
The squatty thing works,
Oh.
I mean,
have
I
designed
have seen
right.
a woman piss
Women
in the
who
urinal.
hover always end up like making things more dirty than it ever has to fucking be, dude.
I have
It's
seen women piss in
disgusting.
urinals.
I don't doubt that actually.
I have not seen that. Although I
I'm
will
still
say,
the only
like,
person who hasn't pissed in a fucking parking lot too. I still
I've
haven't.
never pissed in a parking lot?
I've never
I've
pissed in a
never-
parking lot.
I thought you
would-
said you had. I thought this was a big conversation
I
that
don't
you
know
had
if I
with
have or not.
Petey.
I might have very well pissed in a parking lot. I have no problem just pissing
No,
outside in
I've-
the
Just wherever.
backyard. but
I've
yeah.
seen women do it. I've seen dudes do it. I've never done it myself because I have dignity.
I used to take pride in pissing in every parking lot I possibly could.
Why does that not surprise me?
It was Petey who said she had special shoes she went to
Yeah,
concerts in
that she
because
only
of
wears
that.
the one pair of shoes. This is why I love Petey.
Right. That's why?
One of the many reasons.
Okay.
Because she has pea shoes?
But I will say, like, I have been in. So I played hockey for a long time, and as an adult in rec leagues, I played several years in a co-ed league, and we had one locker room for everyone.
Everyone. Hockey league? I didn't know that
Yeah.
such things existed.
Yeah. So so we so here's the one thing that irritated me. So the one thing is like co-ed thing, and you're no one's naked, but down to underwear. You've got your jock strap or whatever and stuff like that. It was not a big deal for anyone. Not a big deal. Male, female, did not
This
matter.
is an adult league, right?
It's an adult league.
Well, adults tend to be more civilized.
Except-
Tend to be more civilized.
Except there was this is what offended me. There was one woman who would show up in her gear, and she would come into the locker room and hang out while everyone was getting dressed. And then after the game, she would disappear into the women's restroom. And I'm just like, if you're going to be in the locker room while, I don't know. That just kind of annoyed the hell out of me. That she's, going to come, like, if you're not comfortable, don't come in at all.
Sure.
Yeah, I can understand that mindset. I mean, at the same time, she may not have been comfortable with something with her body, and she didn't want to lose out on the camaraderie of a team that happens in the locker room.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
cowgirl up and.
No, I agree. I agree, but I can see why that person might have done that.
And I think that's like in an ideal situation,
yeah.
And I think that's where my comments go with it. I think in an ideal situation, we've all gotten the fuck over our issues.
Right,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, quit being a dick to someone else and don't, assault someone else.
Yeah. Where that's not an issue, where we've raised our children to respect each other, then it worked out well.
I don't think we'll ever see that in any culture.
I disagree.
I would like to disagree. I really would. I mean, I think
We are defeating fundamentalism and religionists.
it's a step at a time.
Yeah, we're getting there. And it's
But we just had the state.
this is we were talking about in the frickin' show about it being cultural, and I think that's totally true. But I also think that a lot of the female genital mutilation, the killing of rape victims, they kill rape victims, and it's
Who's they? Who are you talking about?
Muslims.
Okay.
These people in these Islamic cultures where they have Sharia law, they are losing step by step. They're losing. Secularism is on the rise, and with that will come equality in all areas. I went to maybe 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, went to a conference in Boston, and it was the first time I had ever been to a conference where all of the bathrooms were gender neutral. So
I just think, okay, yes, is secularism on the rise? Absolutely. But to say that you're going to eliminate religion and you're going to eliminate people being assholes to each other on, even a vast majority basis, I think is completely unrealistic.
I don't. I think
If it happens, it's going to be hundreds and hundreds and
I don't think
hundreds of
so.
years in the future.
I think we're talking decades.
No,
How does it make sense for, I can understand not wanting to be in the same bathroom alone with somebody from an opposite sex. Right now, just because of the way that we've been socialized.
Sure.
Right? But how does it make sense for a Starbucks, for instance, where they're all individual? I mean, all the Starbucks I've been in have been individual bathrooms. You have an individual men's room, an individual women's room. I assume that they're virtually identical. Why does one have to be men and one have to be women's?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, there's no sense. There's no sense in it.
Totally and completely agree with that.
Maybe guys are grosser.
Actually, what I've
is that
heard
gonna
are
be what
women
the
are
argument
actually
is?
grosser because of the hovering thing.
And maybe
That's
we
what I've
need
heard
to see
from
that.
women.
I've
know?
used many women's bathrooms, and there's very little difference. And I mean, I just think it's the people you're around.
I gotta
who's
say, like-
grosser.
I've been in women's bathrooms in some places that are nice places, and I don't understand why they have a friggin' couch and shit there.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't get that because I've never been in a men's bathroom that had a couch.
Because it would have piss on it.
It would probably have piss on it. That's true.
And I mean, that's sad that that's more than likely a reality because, I mean, guys, especially when guys get together, they do dumb shit a lot of times. It's usually a younger crowd of people who does dumb shit
Everyone
like
does dumb shit.
Well, I mean-
don't.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But I think it's more likely for dudes. Okay, let's just take one demographic and say college age, 20 to 24-year-old males versus 20 to 24-year-old females. I think you're gonna have.
You better have data on this, bro.
I don't, but I'm saying that I think it's far more likely to have those groups of men piss on a couch in the bathroom than it is to have those groups of women piss on the couch in the bathroom.
know
And I
if
don't
that's
have anything
true.
to back that up. That's
I
just
don't know if that's true.
it may not be, but it just seems that way to me based
I think
on our
that's
culture.
why. I think that's why these things persist. But we
Maybe,
would
yeah.
not. The kinds of arguments that we are allowing for gender would not fly with race. Like, black people are just more violent. They're more, percentage-wise, they're criminals a lot more than white people. So why should I have to go to the bathroom with a black person? Because I could be at risk. Why should I have to share a lunch counter with a black person? Because they could be a criminal. And, statistically, although, taking off my pretend racist hat.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Taking off my pretend racist hat, the statistics are messed up. And due to other things. I think largely the crime rates are because we have militarized our inner cities. And so, we're just... Black people,
it's stacked against that
black people do not commit more crimes than white people, and this has been shown by many studies. They just get caught more,
or they get sentenced more.
Because of that. They get sentenced more, for sure. But if you make the same arguments you're making for gender separation, if you make those about racial separation, that's not even So
I agree. I agree with you.
I actually had a little bit of a conversation with Reb this past week about, when we went to this past Saturday, we volunteered with Guerrilla Gardening Corpus Christi, and we were doing some planting, and I forget how it came up, but we were talking about saying the word retarded and things that are ableist, and we were talking about, there are some people who object to the word idiot or dumb as being, or insane, because you're making fun of crazy people, and is that the same thing? And what I ended up coming up with, because I thought about it long and hard, I thought about it a lot. And I think what it is that when you've got an entire culture that's saying nigger and faggot and spick and whatever, saying something like, retard and crazy person doesn't rise to the level of outrage, because there's something so much worse. And as we push those things out of our culture, the things that were not that big a deal at the time start becoming the next big deal. And I think that's the march of freedom.
I hope so. I see it that way too. I've been trying to eliminate retarded, and it's friggin' hard. And I hope that my kids look back at me and say, "Yeah, my dad would say retarded
grandpa.
Sometimes."
Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome if my kids can look back at me and say, "Yeah, I heard retarded more than once in my,
I resisted
I hope so.
I resisted removing retarded from my vocabulary until about 5 years ago.
And why? I'm just curious.
Because I think at the time what I said, and I remember making this argument, I'm a little embarrassed about having made it, was that, so I'm old. The word retarded did not mean what it means today when I was a little kid. But I don't think that's a good argument. I'm embarrassed to have made that in front of friends now, because usage changes, the meaning of words change, and you have to be cognizant of that. So
I had a friend in it was probably elementary school, whose sister was mentally disabled, and I can remember at one point I'd said the word retarded in his presence, and he flipped out on me. And I can understand why, and I distinctly recall that. I didn't eliminate it from my vocabulary. It's mostly eliminated from my vocabulary at this point, but I'm still not entirely certain that it's not an oversensitivity to things, because I do feel like a lot of the things that you get up in arms about is an oversensitivity. If it's used in malice, if it's used, with something behind it, with anger, with any sort of hatred, or even hatred's too strong a word, with any sort of negative emotion, okay, yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah.
But with retarded, it is. With retarded, it is applied to people who aren't, and it's applied to people.
It's
used in a derogatory manner.
You are just as bad as this guy.
And the word was used. I remember it being used in commercials when I was 8.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9. And I
How old
remember
are
the
you, Jeff?
first time it
Can I
was.
ask how old you
I'm
are?
41. I'm 41.
When do you turn 42?
42 in August.
Fuck.
You're a little bit older
How
than
am I
me.
older than you? Damn it.
So, but retarded, the issue was first brought to my attention when I was still pretty young, probably 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Because my aunt taught special needs children. and it was something that was near and dear to her heart. And it wasn't me saying so-and-so's retarded. It was one of my cousins, but it was brought like as supposed to be a teaching moment. It's discouraging to me that I'm still looking at that and still saying it. And I'm just now remembering, oh, dude, I totally remember when she said that when I was 7 and 8 and was like, and I have seriously been trying to eliminate that from my vocabulary for the past probably, 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
You know, where I decided this is something I need to get rid of because I don't think it's sensitive.
Is it not? Okay, so because all of these words once had a different meaning attached to them, or a different acceptability, is it not the case that once we eliminate that word from our vocabulary, by and large, as a culture, that whatever word replaces that will eventually gain the same negative connotation and have to be phased out as well?
That's happened. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Is that not?
Yes.
Okay,
But I think.
So why
but
is
here's
it that we continue to allow that cycle to happen and not recognize what the problem is with
Here's
it?
why. It's because there are racists, there are bigots, there are hateful people in our culture, and what they do is they take words, and that's why you have groups like black people taking back the N-word. You have gay people taking back, and I feel even bad because I don't even like saying the N-word. If we're talking about it, I just want to say.
I agree. I totally
I just want to
agree.
say the word nigger.
Sure.
They take it back.
I think that's fair. No.
Sorry, that doesn't sound clear.
No, it's like. Just want to say the word. No, God. No, but I'm just saying, like, no one is this post show has never seen light of day. Okay, but and gay people taking back queer.
Yeah.
I understand that. And
The problem
I
is
think
that
it's
someone is always
stealing it
going
back.
to do that.
Yes.
Someone is always going to do that. So
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, Jay.
cycle.
Here's the thing, because this is one of the things that you've yelled at me about routinely is pointing out when people do it. When these American Family Association of Indiana is trying to take the word family, when they're trying to take the word patriot and freedom, and they're trying to make it for their own hateful purposes, you have to point it out because that's how you stop them from taking those words and changing the meaning. Because if you let them do it, then you have to change. If you don't let them do
I don't
it,
think
if
you can stop them.
Yes, you can.
How do you stop them?
Absolutely
They've
can.
already done it.
The word atheist is a bad word in our culture, and I'm taking it back, man. I'm like, I am out. I'm proud. I am not a damn agnostic. I'm a freaking atheist.
No, I agree
I'm a
with you.
liberal, and right wingers in this country want to make the word liberal a bad word.
And there's always going to be another word that they're going
You got
to
to fight it, and you got to fight it.
You
If
do.
you fight it,
How do you
if
fight it? How do you fight
You
it?
can fight it straight on. You can
Yeah.
fight it straight on, and that's the only way to do it.
I think by trying to change our use of language, instead of changing the societal thoughts and the societal reasons for using that in a negative fashion, is absurd. To stop saying words that we now obviously we now find the word nigger offensive. It's a dirty word. At one point that wasn't. So if at that point in time people had used that, if they had taken that word and said, look, if you're using that in a negative, bad fashion, that's not okay. You say that, you don't. That's not okay. You can't do that.
That's how you fight it.
Okay,
That's how you fight it. And
That's
if you
the
don't,
only way.
if you don't, then you have to give that ground. You have to say, okay, we can't say Negro anymore because all the goddamn right-wing racist motherfuckers have decided that that's a bad word to throw at someone.
Okay.
And that was brought up. I heard that brought up in my law school class. Where Negro was actually part of the friggin' case, and it was brought up by a black kid in the class who ended up subsequently. I mean, he was very bright. He was in my law school section. He ended up transferring out because he thought that University of Houston wasn't black enough for him. There's Thurgood Marshall just down the street. He wanted to transfer in back over there.
Sure.
And the kid who used Negro in the class was using it in the context of the case of the case. It
wasn't being used in a negative connotation.
And at the time it was thought, at the time that the case was written, Negro was not
In use anymore.
It was not meant in a bad way.
Oh, yeah. Then
in
it was in use,
In
right.
fact, it was not only in use, but it was in use
That was
by-
colloquially. Yeah, it was a good
it
word.
was not-
it was
yeah,
no.
it was
That's
fine.
how they
It was
self-identified.
fine to refer-
Like,
yes,
African
exactly
Americans
right. It
identified
was
as
okay.
Negroes.
Yeah. And it was okay at the time.
And then-
he
and then
used it in
racist-
that context. And the African American kid in the class just didn't see it that way and
Yeah.
thought, no, dude, you can't say that.
There-
And it was a big deal in that class. And I got where he was coming from. I felt really bad that he thought, but I also understood the kid who said that.
Yeah.
Because he was very progressive. I mean, he was, he went to school at a university in Washington that was as liberal as they friggin' get. Mm-hmm. And he was like, dude, I totally didn't mean to do. I mean, he really took this
Yeah.
to heart.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
I didn't mean to do this. I'm sorry. And he was apologizing in class. But I mean, that those things get pushed that way, and it's by forces that you don't want them to be pushed by.
So how do you get a society to take? Okay, let's just take transgender.
Okay.
Okay, because that's an acceptable term. If you say tranny, that's not okay.
Right.
It's derogatory
Yes.
in most people's language. We heard that on this show the other day.
Yep.
And everybody was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And you know what? The person who used it didn't use it in a negative fashion. It was a
Doesn't
cultural.
matter. I mean,
It was a cultural. Oops. Okay, that's just something that's been kind of drilled into that.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think the way it was handled on our show and
It was handled
multiple was good, because here's the first thing. I have two things I want to say. The first thing is that when someone tells me, you're describing me, and I find that term offensive, it costs me nothing to say, okay, well, I'll try not to use it. And it's how you respond to it that matters more than what you said, and whether it's really offensive or not. I don't even care. I don't even care.
I think that's how those words continue to cycle out of being useful words. Because
it's being driven by bigots and racists and homophobes. It's not being driven by. I know I hear this PC bullshit complaint all the time. It's not being driven by oversensitive liberals. It's because it gets taken on by actual hateful people, and they steal the term.
So how do you get an entire society to not make the word transgender a negative connotative word?
You push back.
But how do you do that for an entire
You
society?
have to do it from the source, though. You have to do it from the minute. You need people like this is ridiculous, but you really do. You need people like Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, people who have the public eye out there saying, these motherfuckers are doing this, and we need to oppose it because it's not a bad thing to be transgendered. Right. It's not a bad thing to be whatever. You need it from the source.
Right.
And you need it to people that are in culture that are there culturally who can push that dialogue.
It needs to be
really
ubiquitous.
think it has to be. It does.
It needs to be ubiquitous. It has. I think you're right. It needs to be pushed by there. I think, our audience, I think, is just shy of what Jon Stewart's is. And but I think that just being out there and saying there is nothing wrong with the word transgender, and when you use it that way, you can kiss my ass. I think people, just like we say, or I say week after week, come out, be out as an atheist. Being vocal helps. When you're vocal about all of these issues, it helps. When you are someone who's not just going to, when grandma is sitting there talking about, these Mexicans, blah, blah, blah. I don't care if grandma's 90. Say something. I don't care if it's a random person.
I agree with you. If you're using it in a negative fashion, then
Shay sent me a video. He actually sent all of us a video today about Islamophobia in Australia. And basically what this kid did is he went around and he videotaped it and put it on YouTube. He found Muslims. I don't know that they were in on it or not. It seemed like they were.
They absolutely were.
Okay,
If you watch it, the
it's
same
the
woman
same person, right.
over and over and over again.
Okay, good. He never said they were in on it, but after a while I was like, I think they're in on it. So he went around with people in hijabs, in stereotypical, Arab clothing. I don't know if that's offensive. Someone correct me. I don't know. Just basically dressed not as your typical Australian, and then he would verbally abuse them in public.
Oh, he
And-
would physically.
Oh
like,
yeah, he
he
was
was
like,
grabbing
do you
their
have
bags,
grabbing their
shit.
bags, and do you have a bomb in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
So
bad.
it was bad. Yeah, he was behaving badly. People were so. It was subtle. You had to really pay attention to what was happening because what I noticed is that because there were a lot of people coming up and they were trying to befriend the people and try, don't listen to him and come with us and you're an asshole, but only when he would turn to the people who were coming by and say, "Look at this motherfucker dressed
The-
like a Muslim."
With the vast majority of all the things that I saw in that video, with the exception of 2 people that I noticed, they had to be engaged by the
Right.
assaulter before they said or did anything
Right.
to him.
If they weren't involved, they didn't involve themselves.
Right,
The second he
there were-
involved them,
Right.
then they would maybe do the right thing.
Right, there were 2 people that were like, hold the hell on. But I mean, by and large, most people were just walking by and going, wow, that's fucked up, but not saying anything.
Well, and the guy with the baby carriage, I don't know if you noticed him towards the end. He like stood there for freaking ever, just watching and listening. And the guy, and until the guy started talking to him, he was not going to say anything. So this is the way you prevent this from happening: is that when you see that stuff, you speak up.
I agree. Okay, so I'm gonna potentially change the topic here.
Okay, good.
We were talking about gender and all this, and the female never spoke up, and she's
The
being
woman.
really
Hey,
quiet.
female is a
Oh.
marked term. You should.
Shut the fuck up. She never
We can
spoke
talk
up.
about that.
You didn't say anything. I think she's trying to be quiet so we don't do what we threatened to do and talk about all the things she shames.
God damn it.
That's my bet.
I'm just gonna shut up and
gonna
hope they just
fly.
are
I'm gonna fade away during post show here because the
Hope that
threat
nobody
of
notices.
I just want to say that I disagree with that because I think she wants to talk about it because she was the one who brought it up in pre-show.
We'll talk about it if you want to talk about it. Do
I
you
don't
want
even
to?
remember what it is now.
Right.
I wasn't. I don't think I was.
You weren't
privy to
here
that.
yet, yeah. Anyone else got anything
Not
that
really.
they want to talk about?
I've for some reason I've just completely tuned out.
Coincidence.
So what are you thinking, Susan?
What? Yeah. What are
Tell
you?
us about your little poke war.
What you thinking about?
Tell us about your poke
That
war.
was creepy.
Who you
share,
poking?
Share with us, Susan.
Who you poking?
His name is Mike.
Is it Mike? I hate you in the chat room.
Yeah.
Nice. So, why are you poking each other on Facebook? I'm just fucking with you, Susan.
We've been in a poke war for the last week. And it's gotten over 1,000 now.
So do we need to share poking stories? Is that the deal?
Are y'all sharing poking stories?
I've been
am-
poked on Facebook. I have never poked anyone back because I think it's fucking stupid.
I've never poked anybody on Facebook.
Not on
Facebook.
Anyway.
I am. So this won't surprise anyone, but I'm stubborn and
Really?
Yeah. So there are poke wars I've been involved in for years.
Yeah, I saw the one that you posted on my
and
status of like you and Leslie at like 500 something.
How do you like sneakily poke someone? Like,
No, we
there's-
will sit there and like just
Yeah,
poke. That's what I've been doing whenever it seems like I'm not paying attention. It's because I'm poking.
Okay, here's the thing about this is what you guys need to know about being successful in poke wars is that you need to know who your opponent is. This is some Sun Tzu shit I'm going to drop on you. You need to know your enemy, and you need to know when they're going to get someone. You wait for someone to comment on something. This whole conversation is driving Jeff to drink.
With that.
You wait until they're getting another status because they're looking for your thing, but then they see the other status come up, like someone's
And they
comments on that
don't
thing,
notice.
and they don't notice, and then you get by, and that could last like a day or two before they notice that they've been poked.
He's obviously thought really, really,
now, if there was
really
a
hard
tickle,
about this.
I might, just because tickling is way better than poking.
No, it went from, oh, this poke war. The next time I see you in person, I'm just gonna actually poke you, and I'm extremely ticklish. So I saw him when I went
Are you?
to Surf Club on Thursday.
Shouldn't have told me that.
I know stuff about you.
Oh, go ahead. I don't care.
Post show next week. That's what we're doing.
Tickling each other.
Seeing who's the
Super
most
cute. Probably me. But as soon as I went to surf club on Thursday and saw him, he's all like, "Hey, what's up, poke?" I'm like,
Here's my
"Hi."
question: do you snort when you're being tickled?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
I always snort. Do you remember who you're talking? Has it really been that long? Come on.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
So I was totally going to poke somebody on Facebook, and it's not loading.
Oh my God! No, like everybody's.
I was gonna poke
Everybody's poking me now.
I was going to poke somebody for the first time on Facebook,
And you can't get it.
It is.
and my internet has failed.
It is my
I just can't
cue
get it
now.
up.
Now we're at 1,357 pokes
And how? Over what period of time has that happened?
in a week.
That's crazy. Like,
And then,
if you look,
I'm Arthur
just gonna
poked
back
me
out of the
and
po- the
Artie
poke
poked
show.
me.
I was, poke show. Okay.
God, fuck you, man.
If you go back through my timeline, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, I actually rewrote. Who was the World War II British guy?
Winston
Churchill. Thank you. And he has.
Prime Minister, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He.
Damn it, Leslie.
She won't stop, dude. Like, literally, I have vanquished all poke enemies except for Leslie. She will never stop. She just. She's,
Okay,
She's
now.
all about the poking.
She's the only person who's as stubborn as I am. Everyone else quits, but not Leslie. I mean, like I said, I've had years long. And eventually, they're like, "This is stupid. I'm gonna fucking win. I will never stop." So I redid Winston Churchill's famous speech about, we'll fight them on the land and in the air and in the hills, and I redid that for poking.
Okay.
That's the
I've
kind
lost faith in
that's
you.
the
We
kind of-
shall never
Arthur
surrender.
and Leslie. Arthur and Leslie are like going poke crazy right now.
That's what I'm saying.
with
Oh
me.
my God, who's the other one?
Arthur.
Arthur. Okay. Arthur.
Arthur.
Okay.
Not Art. Well, I mean, Artie poked
I think
me
I think
too.
we have like exhausted all.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap it up here because this is silly.
This is we're getting way off the rails. It's been a really great evening, guys. Thanks. I think.
Oh, I didn't tell everybody, but I'm sure everybody who's my friend on Facebook already knows. I totally got the Quizmaster gig.
Congratulations on that.
Yes, we saw that.
I'm
Congratulations, Susan.
super excited about that.
Yes.
I
2 Quizmasters
I
in
know,
our presence.
in this room right now.
I know, it's kind of awesome. I'm excited. I don't know when my training's supposed to be, but I told them to let me know far enough in advance so I could let y'all know.
Right on. What was I going to say? Oh, I think because I think I know what the name of this week's episode is going to be, and I think this will be the first time that the chat room has actually come up with the show title.
And that is?
I think it's going to be Somalian speed dating.
Nice. I like it. That's good.
Yeah,
Cool.
I concur.
I like that one. So,
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, y'all.
Man, you really freaked me out when you unplugged my headphones. Don't just unplug me like that. See you guys.